Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third episode of Just Doing What We Do. We're two do-loving friends. We like video games and entertainment. Join myself, Michael, and my guy, Anthony, up there as we talk about our weeks, what kind of Mountain Dew we've been drinking, and the gaming and entertainment news that sticks out to us. If you want to join in on the fun with us, talk about the kind of Mountain Dew you're drinking, what kind you like, what you've been playing, what you're watching, or if you just want to join the discussion with us, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, please, and make sure to join us in the comments below. Now that that's over with, how has your, I guess technically, the past 2 weeks been?
It's been good. It's been busy. Um, did a lot of, well, did a lot of traveling, did a lot of things, but it's been good.
Good. I have done
Uh,
absolutely no travel, but my life is mostly work and sleep by and large. So, like, not always great, but you try to enjoy what you're doing at times. So, we
yeah,
are what we are.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Plus, I get to do a lot of editing for this now. Well, more editing for this now. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Um, I admit, I clickbaited our first episode title. You know, I called it The Origin Story.
You did. You did do that.
And well, maybe
And now we owe it to them.
we do owe it to them. So we should probably like tell people how we did meet and what is our actual origin story. I guess I can start from my perspective.
Yeah.
It's well, I've been trying to think about it a little bit over the past like couple weeks, and like, you know, I don't entirely remember. I'm positive it was related to the coffee shop and also related
I think
to
so.
the the ministry, the area, the church ministry we were in at the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that was most of it. But you know, I've been yeah, like it really racks my. I've been really trying to rack my brain as the first time we met, but I can't think of it per se.
Yeah. I don't know that there was, yeah. I don't know that there was any like aha moment where we met and it was like, you
Did we
know,
just become best friends? Yeah, kind of deal.
yeah, yeah, it wasn't, yeah, I don't remember any of that. I think we just, or at least not till later. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the only we'll probably dive into this topic a couple times this episode just based off what I've got in our rundown. But like I think the only kind of closest aha moment we ever had to like, okay, we're kind of best friends now. Or we're at least very least we have spent the prerequisite amount of time together to like call ourselves, yeah, we're good friends.
Yeah.
Was when we went to Chicago, when we went to Final Fantasy
Mhm.
Beyond Worlds together. I think it's Beyond Worlds is what
Distant Worlds.
Distant Worlds. Okay. I was one word off. We rode in your car. I think it was your
I
bug
think
at the
so.
time, or maybe you were borrowing someone else's car at the time. I don't think
I
you were
don't even remember
driving the
that.
bug. You were driving someone else. You were driving a car. I don't remember what
Yeah.
car, but I don't remember it being cramped. I don't think it was your bug.
What year was that?
You know, I should have like found the ticket, but I didn't. It was.
I might still have my ticket too
I know I
somewhere.
still have my ticket, but I just don't want to dig it out to be honest. But yeah, Distant Worlds is kind of where we first spent a lot of time together and just kind of yeah, that's like the major moment for me in terms of like
Yeah. I think that was a big like 'cause, yeah, I think we had interacted a little bit and I knew you were into some of the same nerdy stuff and I wanted to go and I had tickets and I was like, I need someone to go with me because I don't want to go alone. And I was like, this guy seems cool. He should go with me. And
and
now look where we are now.
we're recording a podcast on a Tuesday night.
I I
Yay!
I think it worked out.
I think it did. Um, and we'll talk about more of why it worked out over the night, I'm sure. But I
Yes.
guess that is yeah, I mean that's really kind of the main origin story for us, I suppose. Like we rode to you drove, I rode to Chicago. We spent the night at a friend's, came back, and then we spent that summer in Virginia Beach together with a bunch of our friend groups.
Mm.
Um and then that was kind of the other major moment, I guess, for us. And then really, yeah, ever since then it's been a lot closer. But like those two
Yeah.
moments have been kind of the two major moments I guess I can think of. Just because
Yeah.
we
I think so.
we
I
yeah,
would agree.
lots of decisions were made, both poor and wise, that we were not going to get
Yep.
into. Uh, um,
Things happened. There were experiences had.
we're still alive today, and hallelujah.
Yep.
um, so,
Well said.
so I guess we'll kind of continue down this path here, because we're talking about like our origin story, and our origin story is nostalgic, if you will. And you know
It
what's a
is.
hell of a drug? Nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
Um,
That is true.
so again, talking about like when we went to Chicago and that, that kind of stuff brings me back some fun. But I was recently went to my uncle's early birthday party because technically by the time this episode releases, it's gonna be his birthday for like a year, or for excuse me, for a week. But we went to his early birthday party and he had taken videos of old campsites that our families had like shared in the past because my family and his family and another family friend of ours went to this music festival every year. In fact, I went for like 18 straight years, and then they went for
Wow.
like, yeah, like they went
I didn't
for.
realize you.
I went so many years in a row. Like I was glued to that couch because he has like upload. He like not he did obviously upload, but he also like upres like cleaned up like these analog recordings and upload them to YouTube of just like old campsite tours. So like seeing me when I'm like 3 or 4 and seeing my parents when technically this would have been the last year that they went without me. So like I
Mm,
was 2 and I was at my grandparents. I wasn't in the video, but my parents were in the video and I recognized my dad. I barely recognized my mom. Like they did like they saw that Scott was recording, so they acted all silly on the recording because that's what you do
that's
when
what you
someone
do.
and me watching it as a mid-30s individual is like, "Oh, no, 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 gosh, no, no, why no?" But I'm also kind of like, I've never seen that part of my parents before, so that's cool. But yeah, nostalgia is such a hell of a drug because, like, that
It really
entire
is.
time, yeah, I was just thinking back to my youth, and I, it was so awesome.
Yeah, those. Yeah, nostalgia is definitely quite the drug. And I mean, a lot of I from time to time will walk down that nostalgia lane. Uh, And actually, I think my upcoming trip will be a lot of that as well.
That makes sense.
Uh, Experiencing that again after not for, I think it's been at least 5 years, possibly more since I've been. I'll find out for sure because the guy who keeps records of everybody who goes in every year, he is going this year, so I'm sure I'll
You can
find
learn.
out.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's pretty cool. I guess any other nostalgic things that you can think of?
I mean, yeah, just thinking about our origin story and back to all how especially the, I mean, that summer
Yeah, no,
and
there's
the
so
things
many
that,
things. Yeah, the things that we did,
um,
7-Eleven drinks
mhm,
that are like that were part that really they were just mixed drinks.
yeah, um, yeah, there were some, I would say, good times overall were had. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, even I've been exploring old music. I mean, I do that from time to time. Just, well, and I mean, even today at work, we were listening to like Green Day and Blink 182, stuff I listened to in high school.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm going to go on a quick tangent. Something I learned today listening to a podcast from, I guess it was about a week or two ago. Um, but they were talking about how, like, Blink 182, like, there are, like, legitimately, like, Gen Z parties where they're listening to, like, Blink 182 and that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, hold on, no.
and don't tell me they're calling them oldies.
I don't think so. They might be calling them classics because some of that music has now technically reached the classic era, that classic kind of
Uh,
timeline. Because, yeah, it hurts. Because classics when I was in high school was like the Black Sabbaths, the Pink Floyds, and now that's just
yeah,
like that. I like it's still classic, but it's more of like
I mean, I think there's some albums that we listened to in high school that are drinking age now.
oh, guaranteed. Like, well, so I know someone, she was pregnant in our senior year of high school. And her son, who she was pregnant with, our senior year of high school, just graduated high school.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. Because it's
Yeah.
been what, 17 years?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I'm going to Walmart and getting a walker after this.
yeah. Honestly, confession, I'm the edgelord that's like, um,
Uh,
I'm
no, I
not.
want a few years of people taking care of me first. I need some recompense.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we'll kind of continue down the nostalgia timeline. But over the past two episodes, we have been talking about a game. And the good
We
news
have?
to everyone out there, oh yeah, we've been talking about a game. We've been talking
It's
about
just
a game.
okay.
The game.
God,
And yeah, we'll get there.
no, no, something else happened, and I'm gonna let everybody who's watching either be mad at me and hate me in the comments, or
Yeah.
we'll just go on.
Um so we've been talking about a game the past couple weeks, and I am proud to tell
Mhm.
everyone that in the past couple weeks since we've had a successful recording, I have finished Final Fantasy VII Remake, and let's talk about it a little bit here. Because I know you have thoughts, and you watched someone play it all on YouTube.
Yep.
And to be honest, I think you're probably gonna have a little bit more of a better memory of even just that person playing than me, because I was finishing it at like 4:40 at night, like desperately trying to beat it so I could have it beat before we did a recording that ultimately failed. So rip us. Um,
It happens.
but yeah, so like I remember it, but I'm probably gonna need some brain prompting here and there. So I'm gonna kind of let you lead the kind of this thoughts on Final Fantasy VII remake discussion a little bit.
I mean, and I have a little bit of an advantage because as much as they changed, a lot of what they changed was small, nuanced stuff that gives them the freedom to move in a different direction, but not so much that it takes it wildly out of what the original game had. So I remember a lot of that. Um, but yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, even the end was. good. I mean, it all followed the old story. The, I mean, into the Shinra building, the all the fights, moving up through the levels. I mean, a little bit was different. This is just a different, I mean, different format, different game. But I mean, characters were all the same. The same things happened. Really, the only thing that's changed was the whispers. That's
Yep.
what they're called, I think. Which, and I mean, yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. Uh, I'm excited to see what they do moving forward. And I have watched a little bit of the second one. Um,
Interesting. Don't spoil anything.
oh, I'm not going to spoil it. I mean, I could tell you what happens in the original.
Yeah, to be fair, that I mean, yes, we have covered this before. Like in some regards, like I know what like I understand that I've got some of the spoilers just coming. It's like a 20-ish-year-old game at this point. Like yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, this is not really this is more the second one. It was really interesting watching that first chunk of the second one,
Interesting.
because there's a lot of recap of an old part of the story. Like they talk about something that happens before Final Fantasy VII happens,
Interesting.
and I I know how it actually like because they go over and it's Cloud telling a story.
Right, because we're talking about Zach. That's what Zach Fair, right?
No, this is even something entirely different.
Oh, okay. Right, Zach
Because
Fair is Crisis Core. My bad.
yeah, they get out of, and this is true of the original. They get out of you get out of Midgar and you go to Calm, and one of the first things you do is it's pretty much Barrett is like, all right, I need a backstory. I need what's going on. Who's the Sephiroth guy? What's going on? And so Cloud's like, all right, here, let me tell you everything that happened. And
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm very interested on your thoughts because I don't, especially because I don't know how much you remember, but I know there's a lot of things that happen that I know how that actually happened in the story. It's just been interesting
Gotcha.
from a different perspective. But I mean, even yeah, the whole end of the first one
It's really weird.
was
Oops. No,
go ahead.
please go. Go.
I was it's cinematically it's beautiful. I mean the it's and it's not so wildly different that it's not it doesn't feel like it's not Final Fantasy VII. Um, and I know they're changing a little bit and having kind of like two universes going at the same time. I'm not even sure how they're handling that yet, even.
Interesting.
Uh,
See, that's legitimately kind of news to me. Like, I'll be curious.
um,
Just have they said something publicly, or is there something like in the game that's kind of like hinting towards
in the, in the game,
interesting?
there is because like so in the original one in the original Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge, you never hear about them. You never hear from them again.
Okay,
They're
and then
they're
obviously we've got hints that they're alive.
yes. Actually, you don't even hear from them after the fall of the Sector 7 plate.
Okay,
So,
that makes
and I
sense.
know, but then like pretty much everything's the same up to getting out of the Shinra building and the highway chase. Um, I was so happy that they kept the original, the Hardy Daytona, and that I don't remember what it was called, but it was that three-wheeled truck thing. That played out exactly as it did in the original.
I,
Um,
I had a lot of fun playing it. So much fun playing it. It took me a couple
and
tries, but yeah, I had a lot of fun.
um, and even the boss fight with the big like wheel highway machine thing. I think it's called the Highwayman.
That sounds right.
That was the same. But in the original, that's you actually get to the end of the highway and then you fight him, and then you basically hop over the wall and you're out of Midgar.
Okay.
Whereas this one, it was like
There was a lot
kind of
more
in
after
the
that.
yeah, that was kind of in the middle, and then you got out, and then you got to the end, and there was Sephiroth and all the extra stuff.
All the boss fights.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's like
which
several boss fights in a row, which was it's that is modern JRPG storytelling where it's like
yeah,
you probably could wrap up the story about 3 to 4 times before it actually wraps up, but you got to have some boss fights
yeah.
or big moments if it's not a JRPG.
Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, it's reminiscent of. I mean, technically, the end of the prelude um, of some other JRPG style games that I've played, where you get to the big boss fight and it's this big, dark, ominous
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I and it was very interesting, and I and it's probably a little of both, a combination of bringing in new people and pandering to the old fan base. Um,
You,
because there were a lot of callbacks that I recognized as someone who's very familiar with the lore of Final Fantasy VII.
you got to have that fan
That
service, of course.
yeah, whereas a lot of and I it's that first section of Final Fantasy VII is a very slow build. And so not giving the new people something to chew on at the end of the first one, I get that. So, and I think it was well handled.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I really liked the end. Like, yeah, my biggest complaint could be the whole like, yeah, it can wrap up it feels like it can wrap up a couple 3 times, but like, I also
yeah,
really, I enjoy JRPG storytelling by and large. I have gone on record in saying that I think it's gonna come back into popularity because I think it's just good and people are craving that kind of storytelling. Um, However, like, yeah, it could have wrapped up a couple times, and like that last Sephiroth boss fight kind of drove me up the wall because it felt like sometimes I was like, all right, my literal job as the active character is just to be using my actions to like be spending healing items or to be like, and to be fair, you can schedule like, you can control the other characters and what they're doing and all that kind of stuff too, but like,
yeah,
yeah, like I felt like it really ramped up in toughness, but I still beat it and I still enjoyed it, and like, I enjoyed like kind of the stuff that like, the Whispers protecting like the whole group as they like pass through. I don't remember what the specific thing was, but it's like, nope, you're not destined to die yet, and it's just
yeah,
like, it's like, yeah,
yeah.
okay, you're getting ready to rip my heart out again. Not
There
really
was there
again for
was a
the
lot
first
of
time.
there was definitely a lot of moments, and it was refreshing. There were some moments that kept me on my toes because there's a part of me that wants it to be the same exact story. And there were some things that happened in the Shinra building that didn't happen exactly the same way.
Yep.
And one of the characters looks like is going to die, and that doesn't happen in the original, and that would wildly change the rest of the game. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How are they gonna? And then almost immediately, it's like the whispers, "Oh, well, we're not gonna do it." And it's like, all right, you had me there for a second. Like,
Yeah.
all right,
They got
okay.
you. They got you to bite. Um.
So
Yeah, and like I'm looking like. Yeah, I can already tell you I'm looking forward to learning more about Sephiroth just because I, again, never played the original. So, like, I know spoilers from the original, obviously. Like, I again, I know that Aerith dies. Like, you're not telling me anything I don't already know. Shoot, I completely lost my train of thought there. Yeah. Oh well, it's gone. Kaboo! Um, yeah, I enjoyed the Final Fantasy VII remake. I enjoyed the Shinra building. I'm enjoying learning more about the game, and like you were mentioning that like the beginning of 2 started kind of give some backstory on Sephiroth, and I'm looking forward to that because I felt like they made some pretty heavy hints, and like it feels weird for me to say like, I have a theory that it's like because it feels like they were kind of hinting pretty heavily that like they're born from Genova, and I'm like, okay. Um, I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm ready to be wrong, and everyone in the comments can tell me I'm wrong. Um,
You'll just have to play the next one.
I will as soon as it gets released on PC, or as soon as it
They,
goes on sale on PlayStation 5. Um,
I do already have some interesting thoughts on the second one.
well, shush you.
Mostly something that's not even story related that they added that I was immediately I rolled my eyes. It was a big eye roll. And I will get into that at a later date
Okay,
when you get to that
when
point.
I get there, you can get there.
Yep.
The hashtag the story of my love life. What? I
It's more PG than what I was going to say.
um yeah, so like I'm enjoying Final Fantasy VII remake, and like I've already started Intermission 2, and Yuffie's super fun to play as. Just it's
And
completely different, but I love it.
I actually haven't I didn't watch any of Intermission, so I don't know. And I know that story happens like at the same time.
Yeah, it's like I'm not super duper far into it, to be fair. But I'm enough into it where I'm like, okay, this is happening kind of simultaneously because she's like trying to, because she's from like Wutai and she's trying to get a hold of Avalanche right now, you know. So like, yeah, like, so we'll see. Like, I'm looking forward to playing more of it while I wait for either Rebirth to come on PC or to just go on sale on the PS5. So.
Yeah.
But I really love it. It's such a fun game. I cannot like I just want to make sure I state that like I had the most fun, and it's a hell of a like you make a commitment when you're playing a JRPG to dedicating 40-ish hours of your life. So
At
like
least.
you know, like there is like yeah, like just be aware, but like if you yeah.
I mean, if you play games like Elden Ring or uh, Dark Souls, it's the same amount of story, amount of gameplay. It's the same commitment. So
If realistic. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. So the next thing is you've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about with Mountain Dew.
I've got some Mountain Dew updates. So one of the big ones, I guess they're all kind of big. Um, but no, I forget. I must have saw it on like Instagram or something, but I saw that they were coinciding with the three that we tried. They released another one for 7-Eleven brand stores. Um, and so I figured that should be on our list of things to try. And amidst my travels, I managed to get a hold of some.
Nice.
So I have 2 bottles of that. I forget what it's called.
Infinite Swirl?
Yeah, I think that's yeah.
That's what you've got. That's what you
Yeah, if that's
wrote
yeah.
down.
Is that what's on there? I should look at the notes.
It would help, but it's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, Infinite Swirl. So and then because there's the chance that we may be doing an in-person recording.
Won't have to worry about
Um,
Discord. Ha.
right.
I'll
So I've got
go.
go ahead. So I've got 2 bottles of that, one for each of us, and then I uh, lost my train of thought because there's I know that there's oh Circle K. Circle K has uh, their brand, so I picked up some of that, and Minneapolis has Circle K's. So I picked up some of that. So I'll bring some of that. And then I think I'm gonna wait to try. So I did get it in the mail. I bought a can of Mountain Dew on eBay. It is the ginger snapped flavor. I think it's yeah, gingerbread flavored Mountain Dew. So I think I'm since we're pretty much there, uh I'm gonna save that for. I'm gonna make you try some of it too
Oh boy.
because it's only fair.
That's fair. It's only
You
fair.
only you only have to try a shot, and I'll
Cool.
drink the rest of it.
Yeah, like
You just have to
I'm
try
ready.
it. You don't have to drink half the can.
Well, like, so here's the thing. It's like there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I want to try it, but then like I'm also remembering that it's just gonna be flat, and like there's a part of me
It
that's
is.
like,
It is.
I'm
Yeah.
just like, I just want to try it for the flavor, and then I'm done because I don't always like flat
I
soda.
did think about that. Could we use your Soda Stream to put some fizzing back into it? Does it work? Does that work?
No,
Does
they
it work
don't.
that
They
way?
don't recommend putting sugary drinks onto the like carbonator thing
Oh,
because then you're just gonna gunk up the carbonator. So
gotcha. See, I don't know how that works 'cause I don't have one.
you'd have to
So
find like a carbonation like pill or something that you could like drop into it and be like, what?
that's fair. So yeah, we'll try some flat Mountain Dew.
We'll see. Is that so? Is that this weekend?
Yeah, either this weekend or next weekend,
Okay,
one of the two.
I'm for the record, I'm wholly down for it this weekend.
All right, that can be
And
arranged.
because I will plan since you're gonna bring some since you will be bringing some like delicious Mountain Dew flavors. I realize that they have released. I've seen it in a few places, and like to be honest, since I switched to SodaStream, I don't always keep up to date with like the fresh 12 packs. Like honestly, kind
Hmm.
of shame on me. But they've got like this Baja Laguna lemonade or something like that, like Baja Blast
Oh
Laguna
yeah,
lemonade. So if we're gonna do a live recording this week, in person
there you go.
recording this weekend, I will also get us some Laguna lemonade so we can do some of that too. Maybe we'll just have like an episode where it's just all Mountain Dew all the time.
I mean,
Hey,
yeah,
look at the
it would
name of the
it would be on
podcast.
brand.
Yeah. So,
Not yet a sponsor.
but please just send us money. Like seriously, if you guys want, like, we'll shill for y'all like 5 days a week if you want us to. Like we'll record a new podcast every day if you pay us.
I mean, I would. I'm not low enough to just ask for straight money. A lifetime supply of Mountain Dew and all the merch. I would be walking billboard every day of the week.
If you could
I
make a
don't even
living
care.
talking about Mountain Dew,
Oh, absolutely.
then you want money.
I mean, yes, one is an outcome of the other.
There we go. I win.
Unfortunately, I'm not as pretty as the Red Bull girls, so
Well, you know, you don't have to be as pretty as the Red Bull girls. You just gotta be us. You just gotta do what you do.
it's true.
It's true.
He said the thing.
I said the thing. Um, but thinking of things about our channel, we've got a couple things that we're gonna talk about here because please let me. Yeah, so I kind of bunched them all together, but we're gonna kind of call this maybe sort of some future updates for other content on this channel section.
Mhm.
Um, So we've got, I know recently 7 Days to Die just went to 1.0. And I know
Yes.
that is something that that you are a big fan of survival games. Like you love survival
Hmm.
craft games.
Oh yeah.
I shouldn't say I'm ambivalent. I don't mind them. There's just so many, and most of the time they don't grasp my ADHD enough.
I mean, that's kind of ambivalent.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's a different style. Yeah,
Um.
certainly not JRPG.
New, and to be honest, I don't want to stream a JRPG. Like that would require, boy howdy,
Mhm.
that would be. Mm, streaming some
Yeah,
JRPGs is difficult. Because it's just sometimes you're just watching a movie and you're like, I can't talk right now. But
yeah.
but
So
yeah,
it was kind of nice watching the one without any commentary. So it's
yeah.
just,
There's some games that lend themselves to no commentaries, and JRPGs are absolutely
mm,
one of them. But so we'd like to first of all, we should bring this up to the audience and say, what would you like to see us record out of the things that we're going about to talk about? Or maybe you just have some other ideas that, you'd like to see us try. You know, you can tell us by making sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, please, and, comment on some
comments.
comments on games you'd like to see us record or stream, or maybe we could do some co-op gameplay recording in the future and
Mhm,
release that as well. We don't really know. We're gonna kind of go as we go, do as we do. um
mhm.
and
Yeah,
so there's just some stuff like, you've mentioned, and I'm gonna kind of lead this discussion a little bit, since I view myself as more of the organizational person in this couple. Um,
I won't dispute that.
uh, um,
Either part of that.
ew, ew, brother, ew. Anyway, uh,
Anyway, anywho,
anywho, you've been talking about recording your building of the R2D2 model. Like, by all means, you should do that. I think so.
yeah. I definitely. I mean, it's a big involved model, and I've been saving the whole thing, and it's. I'm not going to say how much it costs in the end. Those videos are out there, um, but I think it'll be worth it because it's
Yeah.
involved, and I would like to document that process, and I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
To just-
And I would love to see you do that. And like, again, we'll just throw this out there. Does anyone want to see our guy Anthony do some 7 Days to Die on either on stream or on just a pure recording? To be fair, I don't think you'd be able to do stream yet. You need like real. You need real
yeah.
internets,
Hmm.
but you could
Hmm.
absolutely do real gameplay recording.
Oh yeah.
Of which I know I would like to see some, just because, yeah, like I listen. I liked watching You Dead You Dead. Like I can watch Minecraft gameplay,
Oh yeah.
and
Hmm.
I've even watched like Markiplier do like some old 7 Days to Die stuff. So like, I don't mind watching gameplay, and I think there's lots of people out there who would like watching that gameplay, and I'm sure you offer your own unique perspective to that type of gameplay.
I would hope so. I'd
Um,
like to think.
but yeah, and regarding like, and similar to your R2D2 set, you just said you just got yourself another Lego set.
Yeah, well, so I went to Minneapolis and the Mall of America's there, and inside the Mall of America is the Lego store. And as a very big fan of Legos,
Possibly an addict.
possibly, possibly spent a lot of money on Legos, possibly very large collection. Um, yeah, no, there was a set that I'd been looking at for a little while, and I was finally like, I'm gonna add this to my collection. And I have not opened the box yet. I figured maybe I'll save, you know, record the build
Yeah.
for those of us weird enough to enjoy watching someone else build Legos.
I honestly, that I mean, that might be a good first start. like do that as your first one instead of the art, like not instead of the R2D2, but like you do that as like kind of your first one before you
Yeah.
do the R2D2, because that'll give you kind of a good idea of your kind of I don't know, flow of how you want your video to do, you know.
Yeah. Flow setup. Yeah.
Um,
You're not wrong.
But yeah, and if you agree, if there's something that you might like to, maybe there's something about the Lego building process that you'd like to have Anthony talk about, you know, you can give
Yeah.
us your thoughts. You can tell us that kind of stuff. We want to hear about it. We're kind of making this little small section about like future content. So, and related to that, I actually have an announcement I'm gonna make in terms of a future piece of content that will be going on this channel. And in fact, I think it's going to be a live stream series. Because, well, those of you who know us, I just broke my pop socket. Sorry. My fidget toy just broke.
Fidget too hard.
I fidgeted too much. And in the end, it didn't even matter. Okay, you know, we're kind of get to a little bit later, but with the loss of one of our favorite channels, Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter, there's been a whole of content, a series, we'll say, that we feel like there's a void of. And you know what? I'm going to bring back one of those series that no one's asked me to make, that no one's asked for at all. But I'm doing it because, you know, damn it, I am going to learn to enjoy Elden Ring. So I'm going to bring back forced enjoyment. Now, before everyone gets too excited, and I sense all four of you getting excited, this is only going to happen maybe once or twice a month. And it's probably only going to happen on Fridays or Tuesdays. Fridays, it will probably be when I don't have my kid and I'm going to watch wrestling. And then after wrestling, I'm going to play some Elden Ring for a couple, 3 hours. And I'm going to try my best. And over the course of however long it takes, it could be forced enjoyment, the year-long series of me learning to enjoy and beat Elden Ring. Because I'm just tired of, like... The honest truth is I've watched Jacksepticeye play it enough, and I've watched... Like, I have watched both playthroughs. I have watched, like, the initial series, and now I've watched the full movie. And I'm like, okay, I think I can learn to like this game, or learn to just beat it. Because there's enough people that tell me, you should like it. And I go, but I don't want to. But you know what? I'm going to force myself to. Hence the forced part of forced enjoyment. I guess I should ask if you have thoughts on it. But it's not going to change if I do it or not.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've watched the same Jacksepticeye videos. I am well invested in both Dinglebamp and Bong. Oh, Bong. I would definitely watch you play Elden Ring.
However, I should say, though, as a warning ahead of time to everyone who might watch said stream and watches this recording of a podcast, this podcast is family friendly.
Forced enjoyment will not be.
I cannot promise that forced enjoyment will. I will probably look into making a macro on my gaming keyboard here, because I have these nice little keys on this side that you can program macros, and I might look into see if I can recording a macro being like a bleep button for when I'm playing. Because if I can, that'd be super useful.
But would you remember to use it?
That would be the question. And the answer is probably not. But I would try. But
I would definitely watch you play Elden Ring. I would very much enjoy that. Um, and you talking about that, I wonder if there's any games that I have on my list that fall into that category of I don't want to play this, but everybody says I should. That being said, I think most of mine are going to be like your Call of Duties, and there's no. I'm just.
that's okay.
I need.
Forced
I
enjoyment
need.
can be my thing, and
It's yeah. It's.
you
I'll
can
do
have the
this. I'll do
survival
the.
craft games.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, it could be forced enjoyment X 7 days to live or something, 7 days of life or something like that.
Something like that.
Call your series whatever you want to call it.
I would need to come up with a name, but yeah, I would. I fully support that. I think that's a great idea.
So, like, yeah. So, I don't know when that's gonna start. To be quite frank, I'm gonna have to buy a webcam for my PC. Um, because yeah, because I haven't recorded gameplay yet. But when I record gameplay, I'm basically doing it in a old school RT style where I'm actually recording. I'm gonna be recording just the like my face cam on my Mac, and then I will record the audio and the gameplay from the PC, and then sync them up in post. Um, just because that's what I got, and quite frankly, this quality of camera is going to be better than probably the webcam I buy, because I suspect I'm just going to buy a bog standard like C920 for like $60 and be like, hey, it's a pretty standard streaming camera, so
Yeah.
like I'm not going to get upset about that, and it's that's
I should maybe invest in a better camera.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Like, if it works too, and but all that's up to you and your budget and that
When
kind
I
of stuff.
when I become internet famous, then I'll think about a new webcam.
Honestly, guys, if you want Anthony to buy a webcam, what you should do is like this video, subscribe to our channel, and find 999 more friends to also subscribe to this channel.
Mm-hmm.
And comment on our stuff, because then, we can make our first YouTube paycheck izzle go to this guy up here so he can get an upgraded webcam to record gameplay.
And maybe real internet.
Yeah, honest to God, we could make our first sub goal. Just make us like ad revenue worthy so we can get this guy real internet. Or hashtag Verizon sponsor us too. We'll take that. Like,
I mean, I could get actual Verizon internet instead of.
I was about to say, you probably could get Verizon Home Internet at this point because they offer it on some levels, but that's also up to you and your budget too. So
I'm just being lazy and cheap. I'm a mechanic. I spend more money than I should on tools.
Yeah, that's valid.
We're not going to talk about that.
But we are going to continue talking about video games. So I guess I'm just going to start by asking you, and I'll get into what I like. I've been playing a little bit more of 16-bit, 8/16-bit styled games since I beat Final Fantasy VII, because I've just been craving some shorter, more bite-sized experiences for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I want to know what your favorite 8/16-bit style games are. Like, preferably, I guess I should be asking more of genres, because I can tell you, like, the genres of mine. Like, I shouldn't be asking for a specific game, but I'd be looking for genres.
I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but the old school JRPGs, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI. That being said, not exclusively those. I mean, those are some of my favorite all-time games. But also, I mean, really anything out of the Super Nintendo era, the old side-scrolling Mario. Um, I mean, I grew up on side scrollers too, so there's a special place in my heart for the classic side scroller. Um, but interestingly enough, I mean, I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley lately, and I would call that
Absolutely. That fits into the what I would call the 1816-bit styled games.
yeah.
Maybe it may be more
So
technically 32-bit, but whatever.
it's modeled after
It's pixel graphics.
um
We'll call it the pixel
yeah,
graphics style game. I guess that might be a better way to put it now.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think those are yeah, and I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know that I could pick a single genre. Um, because I growing up on, I mean, even going back to the nostalgia thing, growing up on the Super Nintendo, I mean, the pixel art, there is a very special place in my heart. I love, honestly, I would almost, if I could get away with it, I would play exclusively pixel art games. I mean, great, there's great games that are not pixel art, but I love
That's
pixel
fair.
art games.
It's totally fair.
So yeah, like your JRPGs or your Mario or old school Pokemon. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. It's funny. I think for myself, like I know growing up, I definitely it was a lot. It was JRPGs, Metroidvanias, platformers, that kind of stuff. And I think as now I'm a little bit different, but not that much different. I don't when it comes to 1816-bit style games, it's kind of funny. Like JRPGs aren't as interesting to me. Like I can
hmm,
still like the nostalgia bug. I can still go back and like play Earthbound and like so in the games I did play back then. Like I can go back and play those. But nowadays, when it comes to games that are more recently released, like if it's an 18 or 16, if it's that pixel art style, like I've found myself basically sticking to like platformers and the Metroidvania style games just because I don't know if it's. Maybe it's something about my personality that's changed where it's just like when I'm playing 16-bit style games I just want to have a little bit more short fun or more
yeah,
it's more of a temporary thing. I don't know how to put it there, but like
yeah, the shorter,
shorter experiences or easily
yeah,
more compact, something that I can kind of
mm,
pause and go away or save and turn off and like it's the
yeah,
same reason why I still like the game. Why even though there's like I've said before, a deluge of games like Dead Cells and Hollow Knight and that kind of stuff. Like they're they're roguelite Metroidvania games. Like I still buy them and play them because yeah, they're kind of more compact and like Metroid Dread
yeah,
came out a couple of years ago. I wouldn't. That's obviously not a pixel art style game, but it's that same Metroidvania platformer. I played the poop
yeah.
out of that.
Oh yeah,
Um, it's either one of those, or it's either like again, I think I've said it before. If I haven't, like it's the ultra violent games. It's like Party Hard, Mister Shifty, Hotline Miami, Serial Cleaner, like some of those pixel art games. Like I just like it's I like that. I I don't even necessarily know if it's the ultra violent, but there's something about those ultra violent games have a storytelling like they're all take a very similar storytelling style
yeah,
that I've found enjoyable. Um
hmm,
I yeah. Whereas but I still like JRPGs obviously, but I've my enjoyment of JRPGs has moved more into the I kind of want to feel a little bit more immersed with like some of
yeah,
it looks like yeah, and yeah. There's obviously exceptions cuz like there are some JRPGs that are modern that just aren't immersive, but there are some, a lot like Final Fantasy VII, that are immersive, but there's a very strong argument that could be made that it's the story from a 16-bit era game because they had to rely on good storytelling. So that's a
Yeah.
discussion for another time. However, that storytelling does still
Yeah.
get me, but I prefer a little bit more of, I prefer having the visuals to go along with it.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I get that. Um, and that is one thing I think I like about the pixel art style is that
It
there's only
forces
so much.
storytelling.
Yeah, it forces storytelling. There's only so much that you can do, so you kind of have to get creative
Yep.
with your visuals because you can't build an entire city. Um, you can't build the landscapes that you can in your modern day. Um, but I would almost recommend. Have you ever played Chrono Trigger?
Yes, I've
Okay,
played and beat it. Like
okay,
like like I yes, I've played, beat it. I know Chrono Trigger. I that's one of those Super NES era JRPGs that I enjoyed. And like if they ever remade Chrono Trigger into a fully visual 3D game, I would be all for that. Like Square Enix, take this idea, hire me as a consultant, and there we go. Um I'm just gonna shill, man.
I mean, you do you. You.
Almost.
Yeah, I almost. I kind of worked it in there.
Anyway.
Um, but no, yeah, no, thinking about it, I probably in the catalog of games that I'm current like at any given time playing, like, I might go back and forth between two or three different games at the same time. Usually I think one of them is a pixel art style game.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as a genre, I don't know that I could pick a single genre. But no, yeah, there's a special place in my heart for pixel art games because that's what I grew up. That's what I started. I started right before the N64 PlayStation 1, like
Yep.
GoldenEye, Lara Croft, Final Fantasy 7, the I started right before the
Polygonal.
Polygon.
Yeah.
Granted, I do love me some polygons. I don't care, and I think I'll say it this way. I like the visuals of the old Final Fantasy 7 just as much as the visuals of the new one.
That makes
Me
sense.
personally. Uh,
Goes back
but
to that
that's again
nostalgia topic.
that's a nostalgia thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I get it 100%. So yeah, I guess I'll leave this up to everyone. We'd like to hear your favorite pixel art style games, as it were.
yeah,
Are you guys Terraria? Do you guys get into pixel art JRPGs like say Sea of Stars? Because that's a very recent JRPG that took that pixel art style. Yeah, tell us in the comments below. We want to
yeah.
hear. Tell us, please.
Are you playing the greatest pixel art farm sim ever made by one person?
Yeah, that is kind of awesome. That is still one of the coolest things in the world. It's just one person made Stardew Valley. Like that's nuts. I love
Yeah,
it. And credit to him. He probably has his own Stardew Valley in real life to himself now because of it.
probably.
Um So I'm gonna move us into our next topic. We're still talking about video games here, and we kind of touched on this earlier, especially because I'm doing forced enjoyment.
Hmm.
But I noticed the other day that Jeremy Dooley was bringing back Shopping List,
Yep.
and I guess I haven't watched it yet. I've had enough going on, and I just haven't had the opportunity. But I know
Hmm.
you have, so I'd like to hear
I
your
watched.
thoughts on it.
I haven't finished it, but I watched a good chunk of it during my travels. Because you had mentioned it, and I was very interested, and I'm excited for what Jeremy has planned. Because he kind of goes over it in the beginning, like what he's thinking, um, getting everybody together or getting a group of people together regularly to play a game, and it was very refreshing to see him start with a format that I came to love from Achievement Hunter, and that was the competition, the Minecraft competition style. Like, here's a task, go do it. First one to win gets
XYZ. Yeah.
the the tower of whatever.
The
I think
Tower
he
of
changed it up.
Lads.
He changed it up. He changed the tower. It looks different. He called it something else, but he starts his stream with his song. So, but it was, and it was who was in it? It was him,
You mentioned Kai in the notes.
Kai, Kat, his wife,
Yep.
which I didn't realize she was starting to do stuff. Which so that'll be an interesting.
She's always done a little bit on the side. Like she had
Yeah,
another job. Like I don't know if she's a full-time streamer now, but she always had another job and she just kind of streamed on the side, whereas Jeremy was like, yeah, full-time content creator.
yeah. Kai made me feel old. Um, who else was in it? I'm trying to remember because it was a few days
I
ago.
know Jeff and Gavin are in it.
Jack, yeah,
Jeff
Jeff
and
and Gavin.
Gavin.
Yeah,
Um yeah, yeah. I guess I just got to ask the question. Like, do we
yeah.
think
Pose the question.
and this is a question not just for us, but once again for all of you out there as well. Was the death of Achievement Hunter better for online entertainment as a whole? Like, did and as part of that, did Achievement Hunter / Rooster Teeth go wrong in becoming what I would call overly metric focused? Like, they only chose series if they did well first. Like, if that first episode had to do really well, and if it didn't do well enough, it was just dead and gone. And then they got rid of some of their favorite projects because, well, Minecraft does well, so we have to do that every week, so we have that guaranteed views. So we have those guaranteed views every week. We have to have a GTA 5 every week. We have to, like, they became, like, we have to have these games every week, and I think, frankly, it just got really old for all of them.
Yeah, and I
And,
think yeah,
so, again, did that lead to the death? I mean, yeah, I think that ultimately led to the death of Achievement Hunter. But again, I'll just pose that question, repose the question: was the death of Achievement Hunter better for online entertainment as a whole?
I I'll throw out my opinion. I think, and thinking about like what Jeremy's doing, and even some of the things that like Jacksepticeye has said recently, uh, with his change, um, where he did the long form videos, 20-hour video. Well, I don't think his are quite that long, but
Well,
long. I think he had I think one of the
Elden
games,
Ring is 11 hours.
yeah, and where he just decided I'm just gonna do this for me. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm gonna play through this. I'm gonna post it, and if you watch it, you watch it. And I think I would agree that even though like a lot of they managed to make the GTA 5s, the Minecrafts, the G mods, they managed to make them interesting enough. But granted, we were only watching them once a week, and they had to record them all the time, and that was almost the only thing they ever did. And
Yep.
there were some other projects that were I would have enjoyed, but like you said, because they didn't do well enough right out the gate, they didn't meet the metric, they're gone.
Yeah. And yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would, yeah, I think overall it became so, I'm gonna make up a word here, corporatized,
Yeah, I
that
I think that's a real world word, by the way.
it might be, I don't know, maybe it is. There are words in this head that I
Is it a
would
real
just,
word? Is it a real word? Tell us in the comments.
I'll Google it later. It'll be one of my safer Google searches. Um, but I think, yeah, that's, I think they were trying to meet the demands of a market, and especially, I mean, and I've seen other content creators talk about the same
Struggle.
thing. Granted, um, Rooster Teeth had their own platform towards the end, and they could control that. But you have the YouTube algorithms. I'll throw out. I'll just say it. The YouTube algorithms that you have. I mean, and I know Instagram has their algorithms. TikTok has their algorithms. I mean, um, and it's you just never know what's gonna make it and what's not.
Yeah.
And it's um, and you know what's gonna get put down, what's gonna get recommended. And so I mean, to a certain point, yeah, you kind of have to appease some of that. But on the other hand, like
It definitely killed the creativity.
you, yeah, you lose a lot of that creativity, that spark, that individuality that makes something enjoyable.
Special. Yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah. I don't want to get too deep into the all RT stuff, but yeah, like yeah, obviously, yeah, yeah, like
yeah, trying to stay surface level.
yeah, like trying to stay surface level because obviously there's still people that like the closure really affected, and you know you feel bad for them, and like,
Yeah,
but at the same time, yeah, because I think there has been more freedom from some of the that has given freedom to the former creators of Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter to kind of do the stuff that they did enjoy, but I think yeah, do it at their pace because you got Ray does roulette's play on his Twitch streams now.
yeah,
Um, and then you got Jeremy doing this, and you know Jack. I don't, to be honest, I don't watch too much of Jack's stuff. In fact, I actually wrote something for next week's episode based off what I see Jack doing as part of his content creation that I just don't understand. Um, but
I
that's
might have
for
to look
next
into
week's
that.
episode. Um,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, it's sad. A lot of their livelihoods were built into that, and
but I
you know,
think a
and there
lot
were
of them
still
also got a big platform out of it too. So like, I'm not feeling too bad
right.
about it either.
Yeah, I mean, you can. They've still like yeah, even way in the beginning. I mean, even before any of this, I mean, Ray was a big part of it, and then he split and did his own thing, and he has a huge following, and for good reason. I mean,
He's entertaining.
if you have if you have the personality for it,
Do it. If you have the
and
personality and you can handle it, like by all means go for it.
you enjoy, and that's the other thing, like
You have to enjoy it.
you enjoy it, because I think
100%.
that was, and especially with, uh, I think it got better towards the end, and I think a lot of it had to do with outside work, his personal life stuff. But you could tell, and I won't name names, but some individuals were not enjoying what they were doing anymore, and you could tell. It was clear,
I mean, well,
and
Ray's straight up honest about it. He's like, I hated it towards the end because it was just
yeah,
record another Minecraft, record another GTA, record flavored game PvP game or PvP game of the week, and he's like, I want to do other
yeah,
stuff, and like he knew he had that following on stream.
yeah. And I think we'll see a lot of that. And well, at least I hope we do. And I think maybe that's, for all the bad. that came out of that, I think that'll be one of the, in terms of content creation, I think that'll be one of the good things.
Yeah.
Because I think, yeah, some of the things that Jeremy wants to do, he said, harken back to
More the
old
old school.
school, back when it was before it lost its.
Before it feels like they lost their character, I guess, or their
Yeah,
personality, I don't know how to put it, but yeah, before
yeah.
things went however they went.
So I think, and yeah, who knows how far it'll go, but I think, but yeah, watching that first, even that first little bit, it was it was like watching an old school Minecraft, and
Cool.
it was super refreshing, and I was all about it. And I hope they do more. And I hope he continues to do what he wants to do, what he enjoys doing,
Yeah.
what brings them, you know,
Yeah.
more of the let's just play a game and have fun, and oh, also record it, I guess.
Yep.
So
Very cool. So, and then we're just going to kind of not really wrap things up, but we've only got one thing really left to talk about. And the past couple weeks, I've been the one to kind of have some hot takes.
my
Now, to be fair, I
turn for a
think
hot take.
I think it is your turn for a hot take, but I think in some fairness, I think you're going to have some people agree with you.
I think
I'm
so.
I'm kind of one of them, but I'm not entirely one of them because we'll get to it. So I'm going to let you take the floor with your hot take.
So my hot take, and this comes from, I was, doom scrolling Facebook, and and I mean, this is built over years, or not years, over a while. And I came across, I think it was, just some random, Facebook throws a post out at you, just to see if the whole clickbait thing. And it was some profile of I'm going to use quotes, some girl, and I'll explain why there are quotes there. Um, and she was supposed to be some personality from from some country or whatever. But you can tell almost immediately because there are certain tells to these images. So I clicked on it and I was like, I need to know. And AI art has gotten out of hand. It's
Took you a while to get there.
No, I wanted it to. I did that on purpose. I wanted the
You wanted the build.
Yep.
Anyway.
It's I Yeah, and especially when it's supposed to be like, because that's a profile that someone created. I mean, or maybe a bot created. Who knows? But you you think, oh, this is a real person. Because I think another part of it was I was looking at like some of the comments and people were like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and it's like this person isn't real. Her her I think the way
Her
she was
fingers are
posed,
fudged up.
her arm stops at the elbow, and she's got like 10 fingers on one hand. Like, I mean, granted, the good thing is, I think someone made the comment about, oh, what was it? Blade Runner, maybe, where they check hands or something. Some,
Sure.
yeah, some sci-fi franchise where they're checking to see if you're real.
Yep.
And yeah, AI art does not know how to, like, they can make you know,
They can make the coolest of logos.
yeah, there's some things that I think it's good for, but when it comes to people, like if you're trying to make fake pictures of people, I guy or girl, like it doesn't like that is one thing, like you can tell immediately. One, there's that sheen, that
Mm-hmm.
almost smoothness where you're like, humans aren't that smooth. And then you look at the hands and the feet, and it's like, well, they don't really have like they have fingernails, but they don't have fingernails. I'm not sure which part is flesh and which part is nail. And
Yeah.
there's like 6 fingers on this hand, and 2 of them are one, and it just doesn't know how to handle digits. And so you can tell, but then the other uh, the other part that bothered me a lot was shortly after that, I came across another post where, and I think there's a for whatever reason there's a Facebook page posts that keep popping up about celebrities, and it's these pictures of celebrities, and they're like, oh, look how, look at this celebrity, whatever, and they're using AI images. Like, these people are real people. Use the real images. I mean, first of all, that person doesn't actually look like that. Like, I know you want a certain type of picture of this person, but no, make it stop. It's
Yeah, that's completely fair. AI,
as far as
yeah.
yeah, as
Keep
far
going.
as images of people, whether they're real or, I mean, stop creating AI images of real people,
I can agree
and
with that
stop
wholly.
stop using AI images of people to pose as that or as a person like that. AI art has its place and its uses,
I think it's a
and that's
wonderful tool.
fine. Um, and it's a tool like any other tool, but there's certain things that I'm just tired of seeing. It's
It's fair.
it's almost like honestly, it might just be that I'm tired of having to look at every single picture I see and counting fingers and toes. Like, is this person real, or is their arm morphing into the fence post next to them?
You just need
Like,
to stop visiting deep fake sites, my man.
I don't even. It's on Facebook. I don't even go to the deep fake sites.
They follow
That's the
your
thing.
trend. They
That's the
follow
thing.
your browsing history.
That's the other thing. No comment. That's the like. It shouldn't. It shouldn't even come. Like, that would be one thing for it to be on the deepfake websites.
Yeah.
Obviously, you would expect that,
Yeah.
but it's becoming so.
It
Even
is becoming
Instagram.
really prevalent.
And
Like,
it's just.
for what it's worth,
It,
I'm sorry. I guess I am kind of interrupting, but I feel like this is
no,
worth
go ahead.
noting for your topic, and I don't. I'm not gonna necessarily say I disagree or agree. My personal belief is I think AI art is a phenomenal tool. I use it relatively regularly in my job. I shouldn't say relatively regularly, but like, for example, I used it today when I have to make like a 4th of July post, and like I have basic graphic design skills. I can generally conceptualize in my mind. I don't always have the skill to take what's in my mind and put it into digital form. So most of the time, I use AI to help turn what's in my mind to a form that I can then manipulate, or if it comes out as I want it to, then I don't have to manipulate that much. Like, yeah. Because, yeah, again, for today, I had to use it in my job because I do social media, but I'm a one person, like, I'm a one person show. So, like, I found that my particular stance on AI is generally, I'll leave it at this. It's always going to be best when a human intervenes and it's used as a tool.
I I would agree with that.
But I will also agree with you in that AI art can be overused, and that, you see, like, Facebook knows that my particular weird thing is I love ancient world stuff. Like, please, I like figuring out, like, I'm obsessed with, like, understanding from my perspective the the under what happened. I like understanding what happens in Genesis, from Genesis 3 to Genesis 6, from my perspective. I don't expect everyone to necessarily agree with that, but that's okay. But I do think that there's this ancient world, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that we don't necessarily know about, and it's pretty freaking clear that there was an ancient. There were ancient civilizations that we just don't know what they know, and we don't understand what was happening. So that kind of stuff is cool to me, and AI art gets abused in that, like, a lot. This civilization carved thousands of library books into this wall. No, it didn't. That's AI generated. So I get it. I'm with you there.
It's gotten out of hand, I think. A good tool has been
abused
and overused, and it's become annoying in terms of viewing content.
Also worth noting, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. This is the other thing. AI now, I shouldn't say they require, but whenever I'm scheduling posts, scheduling videos, there is a thing to check that it was made with AI. Because eventually the hope is that, you're able to crack down on that stuff, but obviously it's not going to be perfect because examples.
And that's self-reporting. I mean, I'm sure that you can figure out how to have certain special tags on those things. It's when you're using it either to pose as somebody. Granted, this profile that I found wasn't really trying to, at least at the time that I saw it, I don't know.
They weren't really trying to fake anyone out, I suppose, but they're just stupid people out there.
Yeah, and it's and having AI art of people who are real, like what's the point?
That gets into a whole bunch of other issues that I just don't want to talk about, frankly. Other than it's just it's a legal mess, then don't do it, please.
And it's why. Use real photos. Use real pictures.
And if you can't get what you want, too bad, so sad. You just gotta deal with it like everyone else.
So it always makes you wonder, like, all right, if you're gonna fake this part, what other snake oil are you trying to sell?
Yeah.
And also, having to check hands and feet to see if this is a real. Like, some of them you can tell right off because it just didn't handle one section at all.
Mm-hmm.
And but sometimes some of them, and
by and large,
and I'll
go ahead.
I will say there's some that, like, kind of like my thoughts on auto-tune. Auto-tune is a tool. Some people overuse it, but some people use it as a gimmick, as a piece of their art, and that I'm fine with too, because I've seen AI generated artwork that is also good, but it's clearly, it's just artwork. They made this with the help of an AI generator.
Yep.
And that's fine too. But it's become so prevalent that it's starting to get
annoying.
Not really hard, but it's just extra work to figure out which of these pictures I'm looking at are real and which of them are just
AI generated.
Yep.
So
that is my hot take.
That is your hot take. We are currently at an hour 27, so we're actually doing pretty good for us, but we're still a bit on the longer side.
We might get to an hour one of these days, but maybe we just have to accept an hour.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be around that. I mean, even our second episode after editing was hour 18, so like, on that note, though, with every episode, it's now time to do what we like to do and crash that plane. Crash that plane. So if anyone has any comments, thoughts, you want to tell us we're wrong, yell at us, you can do whatever you want. Just comment below. Just comment below. Please. We would appreciate
Let
it.
us know.
Let us know by commenting below for show, so you know that you ain't no hoe. A hoe?
Do what you can do and comment.
Hey! There we go. And if you're not here to yell at us, you can make sure that you like and subscribe to this video, because we appreciate that, part of the algorithm that we all like, that we kind of all have to serve on some level, says that if you like this video, it might serve it to other people. So, please like this video. Subscribe.
And if you like us and what we say, share us with your friends. If you hate us and you want to show off how dumb we are, share us with your friends.
We'll ignore the haters and appreciate the lovers. But something that you can tell us in those comments is, did you agree with us on any topics this week? Maybe you think AI art is not getting out of hand. If so, we want to have a discussion. Or maybe maybe you think that the death of Achievement Hunter was bad for content creation in general. Tell us below. Tell us if you agree, if you disagree, all that kind of wonderful stuff. But we're crashing. And, guys, as always, if you have made it this far into the episode, likely around an hour-ish, we just want to let you know that we love you and we appreciate you. But most importantly, we'll be looking forward to seeing all of you guys and gals in the next episode of Just Doing What We Do. We'll see you guys later. I've been your man, Michael, and this is
Anthony.
And we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!
Goodbye!